So we left off on these two parts. We got the cap piece done. We've also got the main body of the USB done. The part we still have to create is this sort of the actual USB connector itself. So I did say we were going to create that from a brand new piece of geometry. So let's go to primitive polygon mesh. Let's pull up a cube. And obviously our cube is too big. Let's move it a little bit into position there. Scale it down. Let me actually turn on hidden line removal mode. Alright, so it's going to be placed right there, smack in the middle. You can see it's a pretty thin piece. So in terms of the width, I think it should be something like that. And it shouldn't be too wide. Something like that is actually pretty good. Actually, you might want to go a little bit wider, a little bit fatter. Or that might be a bit too much. So we can see it right there. Okay, now let's move it out a little bit. Something like this. Let's grab this polygon and we're going to pull it out to about here. I think will be good. Okay. Now, let's take this polygon here. Let's Control D to extrude, and let's scale this new extrude down. Something like this will actually be pretty good. Extrude again, and this time we'll pull it inward. It's actually into it like this, which is good. That's what we want. Let me go ahead and turn on wireframe on shaded here, so we can see the wireframe on shaded view, which sometimes I like it better than hidden line removal. Alright, now with that done, okay, what we need to do is go ahead and create another separate piece here. So I'm going to take this polygon right here, I'm going to right click and I'm going to extract this, and I'm going to keep the old one, freeze modeling on that. Okay, actually let me bring that down to here. I'm going to scale that down a bit. I'm going to pick the polygon there and extrude it up. It's kind of sticking out right there. So something like this is good. I'm going to have it something like that. I'm going to pick this top polygon, pull it up a bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to select this part right here, and I'm going to have to start cutting some holes into it. So let's go to a top view, and what we have to do now is create these two little holes that are right there. I'm going to create it in a little bit of a different way here. I'm going to go to Polymesh, and I'm going to use the knife tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to knife this guy real good. So I'm going to make cut here using holding shift to make sure that the cut is straight. And I'm going to make another cut about here, about there. Then I'll make another one here and here. Okay, once I do that, I can go ahead and actually create the holes for this, which is actually going to be really easy. All I have to do is select these two polygons and in those two polygons underneath. Now I right click, and if I go to bridge polygons, it'll cut the hole for me automatically. See that? So I'm actually going to go ahead, let me go to isolate selection, and I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom here. I'm going to go down here to bridge polygons, and it's going to cut that hole for me right there. Now let's go over here and oops, isolate selection to bring everything back, and now we have the USB right there with the holes, which you can't see right there. Okay, so there's the holes. The holes are too close right now, so we need to separate them a bit. So that's actually pretty easy to do. I'm going to go to the top view here. And what I'm going to do is pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and grab all of these and all of these, and I'm going to move them closer out here to the border. And I'm going to grab all of these and move these closer to the border here. So now the holes are closer to the border, how they're supposed to be on the actual thing. And the holes should probably be a little bit bigger. They're kind of small right now. So this is what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to grab this hole here, and I'm going to go ahead and expand it out. And I'm expanding it out only on the X and Z axes because I don't want it getting expanded in the Y axis. So it's going to be something like that, a nice bigger fatter hole like that, which is good. Much bigger hole, so it looks a little bit more faithful to the real thing. Let me freeze modeling there. Alright, now if this guy's selected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply go here to modify, poly mesh. I'm going to go to slice polygons, and I'm going to slice this in the Z axis so it cuts it straight down the middle right here. Okay. Go to wireframe here. I'm going to select this half here and delete it. And I'm going to alt right click and I'm going to symmetrize and create one globally on the Z axis. So it gives me the other half right there. Now if I look at that, that looks a whole lot better than what we had before. Now all we need to do is detail this a little bit. For example, this guy right here, we need to select all the edges, right click and bevel. Bevel a little bit here. Maybe we'll add 2 subdivisions. And we'll bevel it something like that. I think will look fine. Okay. Now this guy right here, I want to go ahead and bevel this as well. So I'm going to pick this edge, alt middle click that one, shift select that one, and I actually selected one in the background by accident. So I'm going to shift select this one, shift alt middle click that one. I'm also going to select that one. And here's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to isolate the selection instead, which will make it easier. I'm going to select all these edges out here. And we don't need these polygons back there. These polygons, we don't need those, so we'll delete those. So we have all the edges that we want. Now it's just a matter of simply right clicking and beveling those components. Small amount should do it just fine. Something like that will work great. And we'll go ahead and unisolate that selection. And there we go. We got ourselves our little USB thumb drive. So let's select everything, freeze modeling. So there's our USB thumb drive. So we can open it up and we can close it. Okay. I'm going to take these 3 objects, alt right click, I'm going to merge them into a new object, turn the tolerance down to 0, and then I'm going to delete the original. I'm going to freeze modeling on that one. Okay. And what I'm going to do is move this over here. And I'm going to look at my picture here and see how it's placed. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. So it's pretty simple. All I have to do is go into my front view here. I'm going to alt right click and place my pivot point right there. And I'm going to go ahead and place this something like that. Move it over. and maybe tilt it this way. Let me go global. Tilt it a little bit that way. Move it this way. And you can see if I go to local mode, I need to tilt it a little bit down, not too much. Something like that will work. That doesn't look like it's enough. There we go. That'll work right there. So now we kind of got this kind of shape right there. Let's take this guy here. Let's go to global, COG, and let's go ahead and maybe we'll turn this one like this and pull it out like that. So it looks kind of like the picture. So there you have it. And that's done. Good to go. So now all I have to do is select these two objects. I'm going to alt right click. I'm going to merge them and create them into a new object. Put the tolerance down to 0. Delete the original. I'm going to freeze modeling on this. Hit enter. I'm going to rename this to USB drive. Close that. Now if this object selected, I'll just go to File, Export, .xsi, hit OK, and make sure you put in this directory with the other things. Hit OK, and you're done. Bingo, there you go.